Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SKUSavvy YouTube channel. Today, we're going through returns and exchanges and how to handle those within SKUSavvy and Shopify. If you're not familiar, SKUSavvy is a full warehouse management system built for Shopify to help you organize the warehouse and fulfill orders faster. Getting right into the returns process here, the first thing that you're going to do is actually start out on Shopify. So we're just going to go into the order itself, find the order, and once we have that order here, you can just simply go up to return. And on this return process, we're just going to go ahead and initiate the return for the items that we want to. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, in this case, we're not going to use a return label. Although certainly you could create the return label within Shopify and then be able to send that off to your customers so that they have a return label. And then once those goods are checked in, you'll see here, we're not going to require shipping. So we'll just go ahead and create the return. Now, in this case, what we're doing is we're creating the return. And now we're just going to go ahead and process this so that we can initiate and actually finalize the funds. So we'll go ahead, we'll process, in this case, we're just going to refund the card. And this is important. So the restock event, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to restock at the location that the inventory is coming back to. That is going to kick off a restock event or an assignment of location for that product as it comes back in. So when I go ahead and process the refund and restock this, we are going to see that within SKUSavvy, this inventory is now in an unallocated state, and we can go ahead and start allocating it. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll process and refund, and now the return would have been completed at this point. So, if you're using shipping labels, then obviously your customer is going to get that return label. You're going to receive the product, and then you're going to come back into this order here so that you can process the refund and take that stock in. So now that we have processed this refund here and we have the stock that has been restocked within Shopify, what we're going to do is go into our SKUSavvy account. And so we are at the location that restock event has happened. And so what we're going to do here is just simply go into our inventory. And I'm actually just going to refresh this here so we can pull in new information. And so I'm going to go over into my inventory, and what you can do is just go over to the bulk allocation. Is probably one of the easiest places. And as you'll see here, we're going to get an item that has been returned. Actually, I think that was returned to a different location here. So here we have the items that were returned. Now this one has quite a few different items that have been returned. And in this point, we're just going to simply click on one of the items that we've returned. And we're going to go ahead and allocate it over to the bin. And that's just going to finalize the actual restock within SKUSavvy. And now your inventory is accurate on Shopify as well as within SKUSavvy. So pretty simple to perform that restock operation as well as handling the refund on Shopify. Now, a couple of other considerations when we're talking about bringing stock back into the warehouse. I'm going to jump over into our other warehouse here. What you may consider doing is setting up a couple of different return bins. So as you can see, I've set up an RMA bin. We also have a QA bin or a fixed bin. So as that stock comes back in, we could simply allocate it over to one of our visual bins on the map. And that way we have a place that we can actually go and deal with the stock once it has been returned. So that just gives you a nice visual way of organizing the returns and making sure that you know what you need to do with that stock so that it can become either saleable or we could return it to the manufacturer, whatever you need to do at that point. So another thing to note is if you only have that product within a single bin location in SKUSavvy, then SKUSavvy can automatically restock within that warehouse at the bin location, right? So if it's only got one bin location, then we're just making the assumption that stock is going right back into our returns bin, for instance. That's going to make it easy to just automatically handle the restock on Shopify, and immediately it becomes back available within your SKUSavvy stock. Now, obviously not ideal if you're going to have a QA process or returns authorization process. Next up, let's go through a more manual return, which in this scenario, what we would be doing is instead of actually restocking, we're just going to go over to return. We're going to initiate the return here, and we're going to not require shipping here. And instead of restocking at the location, because we're going to, in this case, we're going to do a manual restock. So what we're going to do is choose not to restock the inventory. So it's not actually being added back into our Shopify inventory available for sale. So we're going to process this refund here. And then if we go back into SKUSavvy, instead of performing the restock, what we're going to do is just simply go over to inventory, or you could scan this item, pull up the item. So in this case, I might just choose to go over into one of my items here. And let's just say for our insulated water bottle, let's just say someone has returned this item. We chose to do a manual return. We're not going to restock it in Shopify, but we have processed the refund there. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is just simply select one of my bins. I may even choose to use my returns bin, and then we're going to allocate the quantity that we want to use there. We could also have a reason. We could set a custom reason for return here if you wanted to. And then we know, okay, this product was returned as part of our as part of a returned order. Now, on the order itself, so that would align the inventory here. Now, on the order itself, what we can do is just go into the order, and we would be able to see, for any given order, not even sure which order that was, that we would have the alignment of the inventory there, and then we would also be able to see that there was a log of the actual return event that happened. So everything is going to be aligned on that order. Just a quick note, I'm not actually going to go through it, but if you did need to do a exchange, you would simply go on to Shopify, perform the exchange, and that might even be before the order has been shipped out. And the exchange is going to immediately reflect in SKUSavvy on the order, so that even if you were in the process of picking the order, you would still be able to, you'd still see that SKUSavvy is going to all of a sudden align the quantities, right? So if we were, let's go into a little bit more detailed product here. So let's just say for this order here, we were going to exchange one of this product here for, the Savvy watch. If we performed that exchange on Shopify, it's going to immediately show up within SKUSavvy. Now, externally, you can also handle returns. So if you're using something such as Loop, you may choose to have the Loop perform the return. And what they're going to do is typically provide a return label for your customer. Your customer could also use the Shopify self-service returns portal in this case. And then you're just going to go through the normal process where typically a Loop, once the product has been accepted and you go through the normal process on their platform, they're going to perform a restock at the location that the stock is coming in. And again, at that point, we would just come into our inventory, head over into the bulk allocation, and then you're going to see some kind of quantity that has come back in and needs to be allocated again to the warehouse stock. So I think we're going to wrap it there. Very quick video on how to perform returns within SKUSavvy. Hopefully that's helpful. As always, we appreciate your support on the channel. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.